screen is visible to everyone. This particular session will be recorded. So in case you don't want to put your name into YouTube, please rename them, or probably it's a good time to disconnect. Yep. Welcome everyone once again. Today's session is based on your unified development experience for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. And this is session 41, and today's date is 03/10/2024. This is your group. I will try to have the introduction. Okay. And we are now a very strong group, and we are now having volunteers from across the world. Deepak Agarwal is heading from Europe. Satya Kejriwal, Rachit Garg, and Umesh, we all are actually in Australia, but we tend to promote this across all over the world. These are our Twitter handle. We have our LinkedIn handle as well as we have our YouTube channel. So globally, we are 3,500 members plus and increasing every day. All the recordings will be available at our YouTube channel. So please go ahead and subscribe them, reshare it. These are the all recordings which we have done till now. Okay, so we are having around 40 videos already uploaded. Today's video is 41, so we'll see soon. This will be posted mostly by end of this session or maybe tomorrow morning. Today's session is by Venkat, and it's all about the unified development experience for finance and operation. You guys are already aware. Those who are newly joined, probably they are not in the Dynamics ecosystem. So I'll just try to brief that and then move ahead with the Venkat's session. Okay. So I see a lot of people are joining. So request you to go on mute. Okay, so that our session is going uninterrupted. So when we talk about Dynamics finance and operation, traditionally from last 30 years, maybe more, we have been developing the systems, we have been developing the code onto the servers. Like we RDP the server, we try to open the Visual Studio, do the coding and all. Okay, so all the processing, all the compute unit was actually used by the remote desktop servers, basically the servers on which you actually compile your code. That was the CPU and memory it was used. Now, with the Power Platform Admin Center, the one admin, one experience, one Dynamics, one admin kind of a feature from Microsoft. What they are focusing on is that can we connect these environments to cloud from your local PC and then try to code it. So that's where I hand over the stage to our speaker today, which is Venkateshwara Rao.
Thanks, Umesh. Hi, good morning, everyone. And few of the people for the it is good evening. Uh, okay, I'm getting this one noise online. Admitting the people. Yeah. Can I share my screen, Umesh?
Sure, please. We will be admitting the people. Don't worry about the
Yeah.
housekeeping.
Okay.
Please go ahead with the session. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll manage the lobby. Yeah.
Sure. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Venkat.
So you
Please
need.
introduce yourself and get going.
Yeah. Sure. Myself, Venkateshwar Rao. Currently working on Illumina Technologies as a principal consultant. I have total 39 years of experience fully on Dynamics. I worked on the different versions of AX, that is AX 4.4, 2009, 2012, and now it is D365FO, and worked on the different projects like implementation, upgrades, and kind of data migration and support projects. Uh, here today we are going to discuss about the unified development experience, that is the part one for the new dev environment configuration. Here I added the two parts. One is related to the new dev environment creation, and next part we will discuss, that is how to convert the existing sandbox to the dev environment. And if you are unfortunately if you are deployed the VM as a normal VM, we can convert that one. We can configure that to the dev environment. So that will go to the next part. Today we are going to discuss just high level, like how we are creating the dev environment in our local using the Visual Studio. So generally, whatever, I mean, as earlier Umesh was said, whatever it is there, all the apps related to the Dynamics 365, it is collaborating with the Power Platform and deploying onto the Dataverse now going forward. So in future, I mean, in next year, by next year, the LCS will be, some Microsoft support will be end. So we all should move into the Power Platform side.
Venkat,
Okay.
one thing. Can you please
Yes.
click on the presentation icon in
Yes.
the
Sure.
in the
Yeah.
down? Yeah.
Slideshow.
Thank you. Slideshow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Umesh.
Thanks. No problem.
Yeah. So the background will be like this only going forward. So all the things will be managed in the Dataverse. It's a cloud, and on top of that, it will goes to the Power Platform. We can all the Power Platform things are integrated each other. And this one we will directly mapping into the D365 apps. Going forward, we will call this one as a D365 Finance and Operation apps. And from that, it will connect to the Visual Studio. So earlier it is the RDP VM for us, remote desktop. So that is tier one environments. Tier one environments, every developer has the individual VM that is kind of static VMs. Everything will be installed in, I mean, code base, everything will be installed into the your VM itself. So here, how culture is moving into the who have worked in the older versions of the AX. So in the older versions, how it will be there. The server was installed in one place. From that place to all the developers will connect by installing the client. As emerging technologies into the in the world, the cloud is adopted the all the apps and all the technologies. Here the main environment will be deployed onto the cloud. From that, we are mapping into the everything into the Visual Studio, your local laptop. So here going forward, here RDP concept will be completely removed. I mean, it will erase. So we will use our our local laptops to do the developments. Okay. So the just imagine, keep in mind, going forward structure will be like this only for new environments. This is Microsoft kind of architectural design. What I understood, I draw the diagram the way I understood. So Dataverse is the main cloud base for us the going forward. Moving to the next slide. There are, I mean, whatever we are going, any technology, there is some prerequisites was there. Similarly, here we have the some prerequisites. So if you want to access the environment for the already deployed, you should have the uh, subscriptions, proper subscriptions like that. We can call that one as a licensed versions. That is D365FO finance or supply chain management or project, and 3-4 licenses was there. Based on that, who are having the license, they can easily access to the Power Platform. And from that, you can check the subscriptions where it is this URL. This URL indicates that the you what is subscriptions you are having. And next, if it is a development environment, developer must be have the system admin role to develop on the sandbox. I will show first I will show the theory, and next I will give the one small demonstration how we will going to implement. And here in Dataverse side, at least minimum 1 GB space was required. This one we can validate on the Power Platform capacity side. So we should check that I mean the space is exist or not. Next one, we should install one SQL Server Express edition in our local environment. Okay, so it is by default it will come with the Visual Studio. While installing the Visual Studio, there is a option. Hello.
I
Yeah.
think accidentally I made him an attendee. Just
Okay.
quickly.
Yeah. So
Sorry, it was with the name Venkateshwara. Just a minute. Sorry, just a minute.
No problem. I'm just making in presenter. I'm making in presenter.
Yeah,
Okay.
I made it as well. Can you check,
Yes.
Venkateshwar? Yeah.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
share now. Yeah. I got
Apologies
the
for
Yeah.
that. I
options.
was managing the lobby.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. All good.
Yeah. So while installing the Visual Studio 2012 itself, there is a option to check the SQL Server Express Edition to install. It will create the one local DB for us. Moving to the next slide. Yeah. Coming to the our laptop or desktop, and it can be accessed from the our cloud VM also. So there should be a some 16 GB free space is required, and the RAM is in our local RAM, and RAM is obviously we are using the more than 88 GB. So minimum 8 GB is sufficient to do. So if it is not suits, then we should go for the 16 GB, but 8 GB is sufficient. And make sure the laptop VM core processor is 4 core processor is required, and this one will work for the Windows 11 and above, and with works for the Visual Studio 2022 with the .NET workloads and Model SDK and few other components. And already I mentioned MS SQL Express Edition is required. By default, it will come from the Visual Studio 2022 installation. So while deploying the environment, there is a template version environments will be deployed. So whatever licenses, as earlier I discussed, there is a license to the customer. Based on that, the template we have to select, which is mentioned here, the third column. So why we are using this one means going forward, I will show you where we are exactly using. Okay. So total, we have the 5 types of the templates. Based on the template selection, it will create the VM with proper components. Okay. Okay. I'm jumping into the how we install. We already installed our internally. So how it is works, I'm showing here. After that, I will showcase the one small demo. So here there is a first we have to install the in from our VM to you have to install the Microsoft Power Apps administrative related cumulatives. So by using that one, it will create the it will create the instance to the Power Apps. So Power Platform. If you have already have the access, it will directly give the this kind of prompt messages. If you don't have the messages, it will throw the error. So here I have the admin, I have the rights for the Power Apps. So here I can easily install this one. So first we have to establish the connection with the Power Apps. For that, we should execute this one. So this one, it will create the instance at the time of Windows PowerShell when we are executing. Second one is we have to create the principal applications that is using the either you have to enter the only for endpoint prod, or if you want to install on the any specific tenant ID, you should mention tenant ID which is related from, I mean, which is coming from the your customer, either related to the Azure app or something related. So it will goes to the that specific tenants. On top of that, here we will mention that one. On top of that, if you are executing, this kind of warning messages will come, but you can ignore and move that one. So whenever it is asking to the endpoint, so it will ask the Entra ID credentials uh, like this. It will ask the credentials. So it will go and validate you have the Power App account proper access or not. So once you have proper access, if you log into that one, it will create the instance for you to trigger the VM. I mean sandbox. So just validate before going to that one, you have the proper Power Platform access. At the same time, the subscriptions is also you need to validate. Then the steps will be go smooth till here. Once it is done, once it is done, here we will prepare the one JSON script. So what JSON script will do? Here we will pass the input parameters to the that specific instance which is already established. So what here I have given here is one application unique name what my application, I mean, my environment name, application name should be, and the parameters. So here I have mentioned the dev tool enabled is true and demo data enabled true. So by this one, we already know, we are already creating while deploying the LCS environments, we will mention that one, whether we need the data or we don't need the demo data, we will select the while deploying the VM on the tier 1 environments. Same way, if you put the true, it will come with the Microsoft standard data. If not, it will take the vanilla. I mean, without database, it will create the environment. So the name should be, the application name should not be exceeded more than 20 characters. So what I did earlier, I have established the connection to the PowerShell, and next I have logged in with my credentials, and next step I have created the JSON, I mean JSON script. This all things stored into the one variable. My variable is here JSON object. Okay, once it is done, I mean, I will explain this one also. What is the use of dev tool is enabled. So what it means, if you are enabling, I mean, if you are putting that one is a true, it will create the dev environment. If you are not putting that one, if you are not putting anything, I mean false, it will take the normal sandbox. It will deploy normal sandbox. It doesn't support the it doesn't support the development, X++ development. Okay, so even though if you are not mentioning anything, if you are forgot to mention dev tool is enabled property is set to true or false, by default it will take the false. Sometimes there is a chance we will deploy VM as a sandbox one, but later there is a option to convert that VM into the development supported sandbox. That in the properties levels we can change that one. Okay, once a JSON file is prepared properly and the connection was established, this is the PowerShell command to deploy the VM. Trigger the new environment on the PowerShell. So here I mentioned my own name, the environment name, and the SKU is environment SKU is I mentioned sandbox, and template. At the beginning of this one, we discussed the different kind of templates we have. So we must select any one of the template. Here I have selected the D365 Finance Operations, FinOps underscore Finance, and whatever JSON I have created, JSON variable I have created, I used here to deploy. And what is the parameters I need to pass, whether it is development environment and demo data is required or not. For that purpose, all the information I'm passing JSON object file. This is the variable. The location name for my requirement, I deployed onto the Europe. So based on your requirement, you can select your own region. In my requirement, it is the Europe. I have selected the Europe. Provision database is it will create the database at a cloud level and it will revert to us. Once we triggered this one, we triggered this one, it will take 1 to 1.5 hour time to complete the process. Earlier, whenever we are creating in LCS level, when we are creating the VM, it will take the 4 hours. Sometimes it is taking more than 4 hours based on the region selection. But here we tried in the two different regions. One is Europe and another one is North America. So both are given the same results, that is between 1 to 1.5 hours, not more than that. So once this one is completed properly, it will give the one message like this, where it is created and what is your tenant ID and what is your organization information and whether it is succeed or not. Okay, generally we use it to go with the service accounts for this, but to demonstration purpose, I created my username with my username. Okay, from here I will show the few things into the Visual Studio side. Let me open the Visual Studio. In the Visual Studio, we need to install the one extension to to establish the connection to the Power Platform. So I already installed. I will show you this one. Power Platform tools for the Visual Studio 2022. So this tool must be installed to connect the your sandbox development sandbox environment. Once it is installed, few of the connectivity related things will be enabled for you. Those are in tools. Okay, so by using connect dataverse, and it will give the it will populate the three nodes here. One is connect to Dataverse. It will connect to the Power Platform and downloading to the D360 FinOps assets and SQL credential for the D365FO. So once once sandbox was deployed, if you are clicking on the connect to Dataverse, it will go. It will go to the your email ID and what is the environment it is already configured. If it is not required, if you click on no, and you need to sign in with the your username. Okay. Uh, Let me stop and share again. I will need to enter my credentials.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the nice questions in the chat window. Keep posting them. I think it's really helpful.
I see Andrea, MVP, I guess. Is there? Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Adria.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen again to show one thing here. By default, it will come to the sign in to the current user, but we have to go for the show advanced and select the online region which environment was deployed. So in our case, we deployed the region that is Europe. So I have selected the region here that is Europe, and I will logged in with my credentials. Is retrieving the environments from the Microsoft Power Platform.
We have a lot of questions today.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll take it soon.
Is taking time.
Welcome to the world of Power Platform. It takes time sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to answer questions, but yeah, there are a lot of questions, which is good, which is why we are having these sessions. So keep sending them.
Correct.
Actually, yeah, I think it is coming. Actually, it will not take this much of time.
Yeah, just cancel and do it again, probably.
Yeah. Visual Studio busy, I guess.
Yeah, some of these challenges are actually known, I would say. If your laptop is not having greater RAMs, then it will be in
Yeah.
case wherein it takes some time.
Yeah. Okay. Now I got the next window, next wizard one. So here we have the two options. One is default, another one is CRC D1F. Generally, last time I went to the default only. This one is came from because I have, I think, two environments. Okay. Meanwhile, I will show you my Power Platform. Let me log in into the Power Platform once. Umesh, I'm stopping sharing once again.
Sure, no problem. Yep, for it. So basically, you're opening make.powerplatform.com or admin.powerplatform.com.
Admin.powerplatform.com.
Okay. So to show us the environment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the Power Platform Admin Center. And here we have the left side, we have the second one is the environments. Yeah. This is the environment deployed by me, the first one. And the second one is normal sandbox environment. Okay. Uh, this one we have created, and these environments you can see where I have given this admin access to you. Until unless you can't see this environments when you logged in with the work credentials. And if you click on this, you will have the details. Here you have the details. This is the environment URL and this is the D365 URL. Don't confuse about the if it is a CRM or not. Whatever Power Platform VMs, I mean environments we deployed, those will ends with the .crm some x .dynamics.com. And here you can see the D365 URL. If you click this one, it will redirect to the your D365 URL what we are doing the currently. This is environment looks like, and here you can see the data version number, and here we have the D365 apps. If you click on this, there are many apps, so you can filter it. D365 related one. Yeah. Here we have many. Mostly we are using this one. One is Power Platform one. It should be up to date, and provisioning app should be up to date. Then only you can easily deploy the things. I used these two only. The rest of them I didn't get a chance to work. We'll go to the Visual Studio. Yeah. Proceed with the downloading the metadata, F&O, VS extension, and other assets for the version 10.0.2015.54. I clicked on S, and this appearance looks like, I mean, forgot this one. This appearance looks like whatever we are doing into the current environment. Okay. So here we can see the application explorer, same way how we are working into the current environments, that is tier 1. And here it will ask the which one. For here I have connected only one. So that's why it is showing for me only one. If you have multiple, then it will show the multiple things. So you have to tick the this one and click on save. Yeah. sorted out this issue. Okay, it is expecting the proper folder names. So this is package local directory one. Let me save one second. Let me create new one. Umesh, sorry, actually, today morning for performance issue related, I uninstalled the Express Edition.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Yeah.
You can, if you have slides, you can move ahead with that. Yeah, so that's what I was also saying. We also tested some of the applications on the local machine, and they actually they are giving us a lot of performance issues. So hardware specs are definitely something is we need to understand. So we'll cover that later on. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Think it. Yes.
Sure. Can I go with the first one, demonstrate the PowerShell one?
Sure. Yes, please. Yeah, so basically Venkat is now showing us how we can actually deploy the UDE environment.
Yes.
Yeah, so on the back of the scene, for deploying the finance and operation UDE, you need the PowerShell obviously in the Windows 11 machine. Plus a valid licenses should be attached to your ID by which you are triggering. Okay, so most of the time you should be Power Platform admin and Dynamics 365 administrator to trigger this particular environment. Also, you should have the subscriptions which is attached to your finance and operation, like a license. So roles plus license are important.
This is the first command. It will create the some session to the between your local laptop to your um, Power Platform one. So here I didn't enter full query, so it is asking untrusted repository. We need to add one more parameter here and put S. For me, it is already installed, so that's why it is saying already installed and it is available. So next command is
Yeah,
for
so
me. I will
basically,
directly go there. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. So basically, these commands, PowerShell commands, basically we have within the PowerShell we have different modules. So for AX, for AZ, which is Azure, we have Azure modules. Okay. Similarly, for SharePoint, we will have SharePoint modules. Similarly, when we are in the Power Platform, what we are trying to do here is we are installing a module named Power Apps Administration. Okay. So this is without this module, it won't go through. Yeah, continue, Venkat. Thank you.
Mm. Next one is we need to add Power App account and endpoint should be prod. So it will ask your sign in credentials. I stopped my screen sharing.
Sure.
Resharing again. Yeah. Once you logged in, it will come like this. And but I given them my credentials, it went here. And next, after this step, we have to give the our JSON format file. So let me copy JSON. Uh, I need to stop one more time, Umesh, screen sharing.
Sure. Yep, no
So
problem. Go for it.
Guys, it's a big topic, so it's hard to cover everything in 1 hour. So we'll see what Venkat has today. We can schedule more sessions on this topic. I see there is a big interest and a lot of questions. So definitely, I think Umesh, we need a series of UDE sessions.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Costing,
yeah.
performance IC, licenses.
Uh, Here I have constructed my JSON file and given the dev tool is enabled is true and demo data is enabled true. Once all this run, then you have to run for the trigger a new environment. And in here, already I have the command. Just I changed the name. Sorry, one. Yeah, just executed this one. And environment is sandbox. And a template I have selected, as I mentioned, D365 underscore FinOps underscore finance. Okay, so entire this one, it will take 1 hour time. This one we can see the progress here in the Power Platform, the environments started creating, it is preparing. Okay, once it is done, if you want to access this one from front end, so as I mentioned, you have to go for the finance operation URL. And if you are experiencing any issues related to this unable to access this one, please go and check the D365 apps. All are up to date or not related to the D365 finance and operations. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, Umesh. That's it from my end. Next session, I will showcase this one. Some error is coming.
Sure, no problem. And I think it was very good session, at least for those who are beginning with the UDE. And there are a lot of questions, so we will take it one by one. Me and Rachit. Anyone would like to ask the question on unmuting themselves? That is also welcome. Yeah, but again, there will be a huge. I think people will be looking for the questions. Which database it will connect? We can get the PPTs. Okay, so we'll get that. We'll set up some of the questions. Rachit, you would like to start with?
Yeah, I think we have been trying to
Big
answer
list.
questions in the chat, and Venkat, thanks for sharing the knowledge and demoing the deployment process. It's really a big thing to do, so really appreciate that. Yeah, I think we can take some questions. We can go bottom up because I've been answering some questions from the initial chat messages. So if something is unanswered, we can take it. Let's see which database it will connect. So, and Venkat, if you want to take that question, please feel free to take it. So which
Uh,
database?
so
Yeah.
it will connect to the local database initially. In next session, I will show that one, how it is connecting to the Power Platform database.
Yeah. So basically, you need to raise a just-in-time access request, similar to something what we do in LCS. We go to environment detail and raise a just-in-time JIT access request. Similarly, for this Dataverse environment also, from Visual Studio add-in, you can raise a database access request. You get a temporary ID, password, and database connection details. Then using your local SQL Express software, you can connect to the database. I hope that answers. How
Yes.
can, yeah, thank you. How can we restore database using Power Platform Admin Center? There is a command to backup and restore. How about debugging? Debugging is actually a very nice experience now. It's very fast. You do it the same way, just the way you used to do it in tier 1 machines. So you basically uh, connect to the environment, you hit the F5, you launch the debugger, and it starts loading the symbol, and you can debug.
Rachit, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if I do the multiple configurations and somehow in my case the application version is not auto defaulting, so it is showing in a red color and it is expecting that numbers should be auto filled in. So do we have any workaround for that?
I haven't faced that issue, so can't say with confidence, but probably try to configure it again or check that or download the assets again and set up your metadata configuration.
Let's say for example I need to let's say for example I have some version PU40 and I need to configure with the same version to some other customer. So I just go and create a new configuration, right? And I have mapped my database and my models, my custom models. So in that case, it should
Right.
auto-populate that application version, right? So I've seen this issue multiple times, but I could not. I've installed everything and I retried to map it again, download the assets, but still I couldn't succeed. So do we have any other alternative workaround for this?
I am not sure. Maybe if someone else has faced this, can share their experience. Otherwise, yeah, face a support ticket. Yeah.
And I have other question. Let's say, for example, I have database in LCS sandbox. So can we get that into the UDE development box?
Yes, that is
Yes,
possible.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
that is
possible.
possible.
Do we have any documentation for that in the MS?
Yeah. I'll
MS?
find that and share the link. Just give me a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Rohit, go for the
So,
question.
Having a discussion with our client regarding the UDE, and then when they got to know that we need to actually download the assets into a local developer's machine. So they raised a concern that this can be an issue with respect to their GDPR, especially for EU clients. Uh, is there any way Microsoft has given something that how will this GDPR be taken care? Because now assets are getting downloaded into a machine of a particular developer.
So these are technical, like these are the Microsoft code base. So I'm not sure if GDR is applicable on this code base. Otherwise, as an alternate, what you can do is your organization can host a virtual machine in the region they want to host. And then on that machine, you can install your UDE components of Visual Studio. That way you stay compliant. That,
Yeah.
that would be my take.
Yeah. So to add on, basically you trigger a Windows 11 machine on B8 MS or B4 MS into the Azure, and then top of it you install the Visual Studio 2022, and then you download your assets. Assets are basically all original Microsoft code base, which is getting downloaded to your laptop to work on your uh, customizations.
Yeah, I think, yeah, also like GDPR is more of customer data, personal data, which can identify a person. But if we are downloading assets, I'm not sure how it will conflict with GDPR, but I'm not a
See,
GDPR expert. So
so basically their concern is, since even the assets are also your code, and in a way they are crossing the EU region. Let's say if a developer is working in India for an
mhm,
EU client, so
mhm,
the in a way the assets is getting downloaded in outside the EU region. So for them uh, that's a cross for
yeah,
GDPR.
Yeah, cross concern. Yeah, so definitely recommended solution would be to have the virtual machine hosted on Azure subscription
mhm,
on their designated region. So let's suppose European customers, German customers, or maybe customers from any other region within the EU, they will
yeah,
create the VM in Azure in their data center, like choosing
yeah,
the EU
Yeah,
region, and then on top of it, they will have the Visual Studio created,
yeah,
and that
that was
yeah,
mm,
RDP things will be given to you, and then you will
correct.
be able to use it within India or US, whichever country you want.
Yeah, that was one of the solution which I told them as well. That's the only solution I could see. Is but if there is anything from Microsoft and on it, then maybe yeah.
yeah. Maybe join the Microsoft Insight program. There is a
Yeah,
Yammer group where you can get
Yammer group.
access
Yeah,
to product team members, and they can share their experience as well.
Sure.
yeah. Let
Thank you.
me see
Thank
if
you.
I have the Yammer group. I will just paste it in the chat window.
Yeah, yeah. I see some hands up. Let's take them in sequence. Alok.
Hi, hello, everyone.
Hey.
I just have a quick question. I think, the way we just discussed this unified dev environment, this is still with the same logic of one environment and one developer, right? We still are not talking about a big team trying to use a big server and all of them logging into the same environment. I don't think that's still feasible, right?
No, it is not
Correct.
feasible.
It's
Yeah,
1:1.
1:1. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
that's
All
the
right, thank you.
recommendation. Yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
recommended. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
yeah. Uh, Sajid.
Sajid.
Hi, team. Thank you for the session. With this UDE approach, so what would be the build time? So is there any reduction of the build time? So usually we have to spend almost half an hour on the building the packages, right? So is there any time reductions by using this approach?
So this is for development. And sorry, Venkatesh, if you want to chip in, feel free to take it. My short answer will be this infrastructure is for development. So the build process still happens in Azure DevOps via pipelines. If your current build is taking, as you said, 45 minutes, then most probably you are using a tier one machine as a build server. An alternate approach could be to use Azure hosted pipelines. We see it takes roughly 10 minutes to run the build if we use Azure hosted pipelines instead of a tier one build machine.
Okay, got it.
Venkat or Umesh, you want to add anything? Yeah.
No, that's the understanding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Amir.
Hi, hi everyone. And thank you.
Hey.
First of all, thank you for the session. It's so much informative for us. And yeah, my question is regarding the CI/CD. Is any there change for that process, or the ADO is like right, we are doing some shell sets, some check-ins, and build the models and something, and that is not going to change anyway by using the UD. Or there any some other steps or some other configuration that should be required?
Yeah, it is a bit different. Anyone wants to take it? I can add on towards the end. Venkat or Umesh, you want to answer? Or
I think it is more on an Git now. The repository has been changed from, like, Microsoft is pushing from changing your repositories from the TFS to the Git repositories.
yeah, and in addition to that, you have to install Power Platform tools in DevOps to generate the unified package. So when you generate package, you have to enable the unified deployable package checkbox for a UDE environment. And then in order to release, you need the Power Platform extension tools in DevOps to deploy. So the deployment part is via the Power Platform tools. For the LCS based environments, we still can use the finance and operations tool extension in DevOps. But for UDE, you need Power Platform extension tool. I think Adria is here in the call and he has a very nice blog explaining the whole CI/CD side of it. So feel free to check out his blog.
Okay, please share the link if you have.
Just Google his name.
Okay,
I'll share it.
I will do. I will do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is going next? Any questions? Thank you for joining, everyone. I think few people are also leaving, so just thanking them.
Yeah,
Hi,
we have.
Umesh. I have one doubt. See, I just followed the same steps, and when I'm downloading my FinOps assets, I'm getting a message like the particular URL is not a unified dev environment. But I'm able to see my all my environment and tables and everything in the Power Platform, but only the assets not able to download. Any troubleshoot or any known issue to fix this one?
I haven't encountered that. So yeah, maybe there's a support ticket.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
else has encountered, feel free to share. Yeah. The downloading asset has always been, I like, there are sometimes people face a lot of issues in that. So
Yep. Yeah, Shoaib, go for the question.
Hello, Rachit.
yeah.
Yeah, we installed UDE, but we created a custom model. While deploying, it started deploying, but it shows the error as waiting for resources. We give MS support also. They are still working on that for a month also. They are also unable to find the issue. Why it is?
How long did you waited for?
I think for a month. Accurately,
No. It kept for a month waiting for resources, or did you?
Actually, we are deploying multiple times around. I think there are around 20 deploys still now. The first deployment started on September 10. In PPAC, in Power Platform also it's showing us in progress only. It's not yet completed. Yeah.
Yeah. Because for us, generally it takes around an hour to finish the deployment. But if you are not canceling it, because what will happen if you cancel it, it still continues to try to deploy from the backend. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't encountered that, so can't help much there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I think these are good feedbacks for Microsoft. So I would encourage to join the Yammer program, Yammer Insider program, because there are Microsoft product team members very actively listening to these type of feedbacks, and they need this feedback. So I would recommend join that program, share your experience, and you will get better help there. Right, let's see if there are any questions.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
I think
was speaking earlier. My mic was mute. I was actually answering Naresh's question, I guess, was that
Yeah.
I faced a similar issue with the Power Platform environment. I was getting the error that your environment is not on UDE. Then I realized that the environment was created earlier from LCS and not from Power Platform. And that's why I was not able to install the Power Platform installation tools. I don't know what they call it. So I need to create a new Power Platform environment from the command, the cmd command, which is there in the documentation, and then I was able to install the Power Platform add-in tools. Maybe that was the issue Naresh was facing.
Yeah, okay, Shobit. But in this case, I did from the Power Platform only.
Okay.
Okay, I am
Yeah,
just
then you need to raise the
looking
ticket with
into it.
Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are almost done with the timing as well.
Yeah.
Like 3 minutes. Anyone would like to ask any question, any comments? Probably we can address that. Yeah, go for it.
Regarding debugging, if someone answered earlier, I've missed out. So what about the batch processing? Like how to debug the batch processing, and what about normal debugging? We still need to use IS Express or something else we have.
So you don't have to attach to IIS Express. I think you just now in the new tool, you get an option to launch the debugger. So you set the debugger, launch the debugger, it will automatically load the modules, and then you run the process and it hits the debugger. I will share a link for debugging. Yeah, I think it's on Learn somewhere, but debugging is really fast. Like that's the one thing which I like about UD.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you in a currently in a CHE, if you want to debug something, right? So you have to load everything like the debugger symbols and everything. So that will take time. But I think that is a good in a UD, I believe. Good, very fast UD, I believe.
Very fast. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thanks Venkat for doing the session. I think and thanks everyone for joining it. Like this session had our maximum participants till now. So please do join us in our future sessions and help us to drive this group. And if you have any feedback, do share it with us. We are available on LinkedIn.
Sure. To add on, Rachit, in case you want to deliver some sessions, probably your lesson learned with the UDE, and you want to present it, definitely it's welcome. You can contact Umesh, myself, or Rachit. Definitely, we will be able to host. We'll try to host you and accommodate your schedule as well. Thank you, guys. We'll close the session now. Thank you, Rachit sir, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thanks, Umesh. Thanks, Venkat. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Umesh.
Thank
you,
you,
Venkat.
Venkat.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.